Welcome back to day 6 of our TypeScript and React journey. Yesterday we stored state. Today we capture input. And we're going to do it the way senior engineers actually ship it. The mental model is simple. A form is just typed state with validation. And when you pair React hook form with Zod, you unlock something bigger. A single schema that mirrors your FastAPI backend's Pydantic model, giving you one shared shape defending both ends of the stack. Here are the 4 mental models we're building toward. First, Zod gives you runtime validation that doubles as your TypeScript type. One schema, 2 purposes. Second, that same schema mirrors your Pydantic model on the back end, so you get 2 layers of defense from one source of truth. Third, React hook form keeps things fast by using refs instead of re-rendering on every keystroke. And fourth, zodResolver is the one-liner that wires it all together. Let's make that first idea concrete. Here's a user schema, fields with real constraints, positive integer IDs, valid emails, names between 1 and 100 characters, an optional age, a role locked to 3 literals. Then the magic line, zodInfer type of user schema extracts a fully typed user. One definition, both purposes, runtime validation through safe parse, compile time safety through inference. The schema is the source of truth. Now zoom out to the full stack. On the left, your Zod schema in the React app. Positive product IDs, quantity between 1 and 99, an optional note capped at 500 characters. On the right, the Pydantic version in FastAPI. Literally the same shape, same constraints, just expressed in Python. Frontend validates before submit for instant feedback. Backend validates again because you never trust the client. 2 layers, one source of truth, defense in depth. So how do we actually capture that input on the front end? Meet React hook form, the senior default for 2026. The trick is that it uses refs under the hood instead of use state per field, so your form doesn't re-render on every single keystroke. And because useForm is generic, you pass it your login input type and everything downstream, register, handle submit, the data in onSubmit, is fully typed for free. And here's where the magic happens. One line wires Zod into React hook form via zodResolver. Notice what we're not doing. No manual if email includes at sign, no handwritten error state. The schema validates on submit, errors flow into form state, errors automatically, and because we passed login input as the generic, errors.email.message is fully typed. One schema, runtime validation, and compile time types, 0 duplication. This is the senior pattern. But login forms are toys. Real production forms do 4 more things, and here they are in one place. Default values pre-fills from server data. Perfect for an edit screen. When the backend Pydantic layer rejects with a 422, we map those errors back into the form with setError, so server-side validation surfaces on the exact field that failed. On success, reset clears the form, and is submitting disables the button so users can't double submit. That's the full stack loop closing. Zod on the front, Pydantic on the back, same shape, 2 layers of defense. Let's distill all of that into 6 reflexes worth burning into muscle memory. Schema is the source of truth. 1 Zod definition, 3 uses via zodInfer. Mirror your Pydantic shapes so drift becomes a compile error, not a 2 a.m. bug. Show field errors in line next to the input, not in some banner at the top. Disable the submit button while submitting. Map 422s back with setError, so server validation feels like client validation. And reset on success, especially for add another flows. These are the small habits that separate forms that work from forms a senior wrote. And here's your cheat sheet, 12 patterns to keep within arm's reach. The left column is pure Zod, primitives, objects, and the safe parse result form. The middle bridge is Zod to React, z.infer giving you types for free, then register and handle submit wiring inputs into a typed form. The right column is your runtime control surface, enums, typed submission, and the reset and set error escape hatches. Screenshot this one. You'll reach for it daily. Now the traps. 5 mistakes that look fine in code review but break the moment real users touch the form. 1. A use state for every field, which means the whole tree re-renders on every keystroke. Refs fix this. 2. Validating only on submit when onBlur tells users the truth as they go. 3. Trusting the client. Zod is UX, your backend is the security boundary, and Pydantic mirrors the same shape there. 4. Mixing register with controlled value and on change. Pick one and lean uncontrolled. 5. Defining your schema inside the component, which creates a new reference every render and quietly thrashes the resolver. Hoist it out or memoize it. Time to put this to work. 3 exercises, all building toward the capstone. First, a login form with a Zod login schema. Email and password MEN8, wired through React hook form and zodResolver, matching the FastAPI token endpoint exactly. Second, a cart item form mirroring the Pydantic cart item create schema verbatim. Product ID, quantity 1 to 99, optional note. Third, the senior move. Take a 422 response from the backend and map those errors onto form fields with set error, so server validation looks identical to client validation. That last one is the pattern that makes forms feel professional. And that's lesson 6 in the bag. You've got the full picture now. Zod as your single source of truth, mirroring Pydantic on the backend, useForm typed end-to-end, and zodResolver gluing it all together. Tomorrow, we shift tags. Daily complete, advanced begins. Lesson 7 is custom hooks, extracting logic instead of markup, the reuse pattern that separates juniors from seniors. Use to bounce, use local storage, use fetch. Your real toolbox starts there. See you in Lesson 7.